Hi, I'm Jamila B and I'm from here. So I'm a country pop artist here from Hamilton. I originally started off doing R&B and pop music for like many years in Hamilton, and it's only recently I switched over to the country music, and that kind of was inspired when the Canadian Country Music Awards were held in Hamilton. Being a part of pop music, you're kind of open to all kinds of music, so I've always heard country here and there, and I've always kind of flirted with the idea in my head, but I didn't really think I could dabble into it just because of thinking I wouldn't fit in. I don't come from a musical background. I'm the only musician in my immediate family, but when I was growing up, my mom would play all kinds of music, funk, R&B, alternative, everything. So I think it was probably from there that I was inspired to do music.
Who are some of your influences?
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. I hate that question.
I do hate that question because I'm like, oh, they probably get canceled by now or problematic.
I know. I hate that question, but I asked.
I can say who's currently influencing me right now. I would say the War and Treaty. They're a wife and husband couple based out in the States that does country mixed with like gospel R&B sounds. Shania Twain, of course, TLC, SWV, but it always changes for me. Like that's why it's kind of hard for me because I kind of base it on who do I admire. It could be even a local artist, so it changes all the time. So the people who may inspire me, like the Gap Band or whatnot, it doesn't necessarily influence my sound. It's just I like your music, I like how you perform and how you engage with the audience, and that's pretty much how it is. I think by default, maybe as Black musicians, we are categorized as R&B, and I've done so much genres in my career. Like there's a time I was doing reggae, there's time I was doing soca, there's times I was just in like a soul jazz band. So I think I'm learning just to accept not to just always include R&B in it, because when I would say country, I would say country R&B, and my friend would be like, why don't you just own it? And I'm just like, well, I'm just trying to ease people into it. I think I'm just learning that we're not in a box, because if you listen to music now, like you can hear different sounds from it. You hear Afro beats and like with trap music, or you even hear it in, they call it world music, but I think it's all combined these days. So it's kind of hard to do a genre. With like the first song I released, I know some people are like, well, that's not really country. And I'm like, oh, I can't send this to Flow Station to play on the, like with the reggae songs and the rap songs, like it wouldn't flow into it. So I think when realizing that, I was like, okay, this is country, even though there's elements that are not it. So it just makes it kind of hard. And I think I've always struggled with that with doing music all my life, because I'm like, well, I think my sound is a little different. It's not me trying to think I'm special or anything. It's just, I know my ear and I'm just like, it can go anywhere, but it doesn't exactly fit everything. For sake of labeling, country pop, but I'm not going to just be restricted to one element. I was self-taught for a lot of the time, so I would go to the Hamilton Public Library, borrow sheet music, and just kind of practice with singing. I remember there was one time with Queen C, she was holding like a one-day music lesson, and so I did that, and she gave us a CD, and I would just use that CD all the time to do warm-ups. And I think it wasn't until college that I took like a class at Mohawk, continuing education, and just took a vocal class.
What is something that you love about the music scene in Hamilton?
What I love about the music scene in Hamilton is I find it a very supportive scene. I've never had any trouble with artists coming together, and I find even in the 2020s, there's more programs that are bringing artists together. Like one program that I was a part of is called Blueprint, which is kind of like an artist development program that goes on for several weeks. And I just think it helps bring artists together. Like, you are not by yourself. There's others, and here's also the skills to learn this. And also, I remember the city of Hamilton held music conferences, so that was also great to meet people. I think it's been quiet for now, but I find the scene has been very supportive, and for a long time, I felt like kind of like the word you use, like a silo by myself, especially with being my age, most artists stopping music because it's hard. But now I'm just finding there's a community, there's people I can reach out to, like, this is what I'm going through. It's just great to go to a show and there's artists supporting you and you're going to their show. So I think it's a great community regarding artists coming together. The Blueprint is a program that's held by TuneIn Foundation, and it's, I would say, founded by Lucky Sticks, who's a great artist from Hamilton also, and also someone who contributes a lot to the community and focuses on the youth. So this is a program that's about 8 weeks where you apply, and then about 8 to 12 artists are chosen. And through those weeks, you learn about how to do social media, how to brand yourself, how to get a venue ready, like stage plotting and everything like that. And also finding your voice and learning how to perform and improve that. It's held at Main Stage, and it's where you just get the coaching you need that you probably would have not known. And I find when I talk to people, people would think, oh, it's for people who are just starting out in the industry. I would say no, because even as an OG and a couple other OGs that I know that participate in it, we're like, yeah, we learned some things that we didn't know. You have to humble yourself to be a part of it. To be honest, I was on the brink of quitting music. I was like I think I'm done. And Lucky Six sent me a message like, hey, why don't you apply? And I'm like, you know what? I want to give this opportunity to someone else because I am not there with music. I think I'm done. And he was like, I think it's going to inspire you. So I applied and I got in, and I was kind of shy and hesitant at first, but it made me realize that, okay, doing music, it doesn't seem like a pipe dream, because when you talk to, I call them regular people, everyone's regular, but like non-musicians, they don't always understand why we do what we do. And sometimes you're made to think that it's only just a hobby, but it kind of made us feel like you can do more with it. And it just kind of reaffirmed me like, okay, let's hop back on this train. And it kind of helped restore the love of creating music again, which was gone for a while. So I have to thank Blueprint, because I think if I didn't take that program, I probably wouldn't be doing music anymore.
What is something that frustrates you about being a musician in Hamilton?
I think one thing that frustrates me in the Hamilton music scene is probably the closure of a lot of venues that were basically homes. I remember Casbah and Absence, that was first on King Street and then moved to King William. And that was a place where I performed a lot, where I learned my performing skills. Even clubs like Club 77 would have opportunities for artists to perform. I think with the loss of those venues, I feel like artists don't really have a home, especially artists who do like R&B and hip hop, because there's sometimes some venues would be like, your music kind of brings a different kind of crowd, and they don't talk like that, but but you know what it is. It's just like it's the genre of music may not be the clientele that they want, and I feel like people had to be more creative with the venues. Now I've seen new venues pop up like Mills and Bridgework, beautiful venues, and it's great for the Hamilton scene. But I still feel there's not like a home, but I had to give a shout out to Sonic Onion and Lisa LaRocca, who have been promoting the Fresh Up Fest, the R&B festival, and they've been doing it for a couple years now. And it's just great how they support Hamilton artists and also bringing T-Dot artists onto a platform. I just wish there was a little bit more venues, but I think now artists would just have to be creative of using different spaces. Like there is spaces like the ACA on Barton Street that I feel like could be utilized even more. And then also Main Stage is a wonderful venue too. So it's like a little bit bittersweet. Like we've lost a few venues, but there are also new venues that people can call home now. And I think whatever genre you're in, if you feel like you're in a genre that may not be represented, we may have to organize these things ourselves.
I know that as an artist, you're really into kind of sharing your resources and kind of saying, hey, if I can't do this, someone else can, and here's a name. So like, what's the impetus for that?
I've been in the Hamilton scene for so long, and I want other people to have the opportunities. Like I don't always want to be the go-to. I'm super happy and thankful that I am, but I also want to see like different generations or new people from the city to come. So if I hear that someone needs an artist, usually I do think, okay, who do I know? And I do have some names that I do send around, and it's great when they do the opportunities and something happens out of it. I think it's just to share, because I don't want to be greedy. Like, what am I going to do with all this? I've been given so much in my career. So if I can pass something on to somebody else and, they can make a little coin from that, that makes me happy with that. And so I don't think there should be a scarcity mindset, because there'll be always opportunities to perform. like it will never stop. So why have a lack mentality? I remember when I went to a conference in Toronto and Matthew Knowles, who's Beyonce's dad, was there, and he was like, put your hand up if you're a producer, put your hand up if you're a singer. And then he said, now look around. Those are the people you should be trying to talk to, not me, because these are people who are going to be building up. And I've always remembered that and kept that in my pocket. So instead of like chasing, like let's build right here.
Can you give me some names of artists in this city who you think that people should know?
I would say Witness, like she does like R&B, like Afrobeat style. Black Orchid, who's like a new Hamiltonian, Juno-nominated producer who does a blend of R&B, reggae, and almost every genre. Of course, I have to say Queen C. Like I feel like Queen is the queen of the city. She does like R&B, but she also does house. I feel like she's been also a big part of the Hamilton community, and she's also somebody who's shared opportunities with me, so that's kind of where I also learned it from. Buddha Buza, he's a hip-hop artist, but he's also a great engineer. I would say a lot of people from the Blueprint family, like CJ Cruix, Tashara. Basically, search up the Blueprint and you'll find a collective of great artists, and there are going to be more great artists coming from that.
What are your hopes for the music scene for Hamilton?
Yeah. That's a wonderful question. My hope for the Hamilton scene is that it continues to stay community-based and that opportunities are there for artists, just like I mentioned with the Blueprint, but also across different genres, and that artists feel like they can make a career in their hometown, because we call ourselves a city of music, and I hope that just continues to stay and that there's more outlets for artists to be a part of it. And I think Hamilton's doing a great job with that. It's just, I want it to continue and not to disappear. We have so much talent that comes from here, and I want us to be proud. I want people to say, I'm from Hamilton, not to just go, I'm from 40 minutes away from Toronto. Like, let's own Hamilton and be a part of Hamilton and continue to build our city culture up. Yeah.
I love that. All right.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, this is fun.